period. 2020, August 31st, 8:12 a.m. Narmer, to strike, to impact, to mark, to insert tab A into slot B, to impact, to make a mark, period. That's 1A. Then you have 1B, which is some kind of an emotional situation, from the most innocent to the most not. And then you have community involvement, which is part B, which is part 2. Part 1A, 1B, part 1A, part 1B, then you have 2. 3 would be genius. 2 is some kind of community involvement, a parade of some kind. Part 3 would be genius. Part 4 would be leadership. The next part would be royals, and how to handle a larger situation, period. What I left out is the reason why this is so important, and those previous the equations that I mentioned are so devastatingly important, is because following these steps, with those buildings, with the White House, with Versailles, with Rome, with the Capitoline Hill, and the Vatican, and so on and so forth. The Vatican is actually called the Holy See, period. The Holy See could be their name for the Nordic Bifrost, which Bifrost has elements of this exact Memento Mori 1C, period. Now, with 1C, you have the beginning part of Ohm's Law. The beginning part of Ohm's Law would be 1C. First part of Ohm's Law being 1C. The second part of Ohm's Law would be genius and leadership and royals and how they interact with each other. How royals and leadership interact with the people as well as themselves. When the input from the geniuses comes in, how do the royals, how do the leadership deal with the input from the geniuses? Roman Latin definition of genius, not modern English definition of genius. Two entirely separate concepts on radically different wavelengths, period. What Napoleon might have seen, and what he strongly hinted at, period, is he saw Bifrost. He saw the Holy See. He saw the 1C of the Einstein-Rosen bridge, period, new line. Seeing the actions and activities of the Einstein-Rosen bridge is pretty close to identical to what is the west wall of the Sistine Chapel. That there's the universe is behind the figures that are painted on that fresco on the west wall of the Sistine Chapel. That wall, period, surprisingly enough, that wall has a huge amount to do with the adventures of Odysseus, period. And the Odyssey and Odysseus have a gigantic amount to do with the lake / marsh / tributary / waterway that still exists under the Colosseum, period. That was under the Domus Aurea, and what was still an active waterway that had pillars and buildings on top of the pillars, city pillars, period. That was due east of the Velia Hill, which is the Velia Hill. The entire top of the Velia Hill has had the Temple of Venus on it, and there was a bridge between the Vilia Hill, the Temple of Venus, and the Domus Julii, which is on the southeast corner of the Palatine Hill. Period. The 1C, the beginning part of Ohm's law, period, is, mathematically speaking, the actions involved is that the way the Romans believed, period, the way the Romans believed comes into stark contrast here.